The Pint and Glass is a story of Jim and Sarah. Jim fancies himself a bit of a lad, and Sarah's a character as well, and they seem like the perfect match. But as the play goes on, we see a sort of lingering darkness in Jim that kind of thwarts any potential happiness. The play was initially a monologue called The Life and Soul, which toured around Red Ladder's Northern Social Circuit. And we did Q&As after the show, and often questions would come up which made me think that it would be interesting to see the perspective of not just the sufferer, but also people connected to them. So we developed the idea of a character, his girlfriend Sarah, who's mentioned in The Life and Soul, to give another perspective and to build on some of the themes in the original play.
It's great because it's bringing theatre to people that wouldn't go to the theatre, and some of the venues that they play at, it's their first experience of live theatre, and you can see it when you're there.
Down 100 today, it's fantastic. We get individuals who are part of the rugby club. We were up at Gipton, we had a packed room at Gipton, over 125 I believe it was, and we just need to do more. It's so powerful being able to bring theatre to communities.
The recent statistics from, I think, 2017 showed that there are still 6,000 suicides in this country. So we're still doing something wrong for both men and women. Of those 6,000, 75% were men. So there's still a particular issue with men, particularly young men, with masculinity, what it is to be a man, and dealing with mental health.
Bringing this play to community centres is just perfect, absolutely a fantastic way of getting the mental health problems out there, especially to men who are more likely to come to this kind of venue. It's just a fantastic first step. I've encouraged my husband to come. He probably wouldn't have gone to a theatre, but he's come along to here. So yeah, and I think that will probably have talk about it on the way home more than we've ever talked about it before, really, because it's so painful between us both. We try to protect each other. None of us bring up the subject really, but now I brought him to see this. I think that will be a good opener to speak about it. My son is well now, so I feel more able to talk about it.
The Q&As are really important because the play raises some really big issues, so it's important to have some sort of aftercare. And we will have a mental health professional from the NHS at each of the Q&As who can help signpost people to places if they're suffering or point them in the right direction.
So I think having the mental health workers there to do the Q&A afterwards is absolutely a fantastic idea, brilliant.
It has a knock-on effect, so somebody that might be scared to ask a question will ask a question, and just asking that question might make them feel so much better.
I'm a registered mental health nurse and a clinical operations manager for services in Leeds. I'm part of the panel at the end of the play. For someone who honestly wasn't into theatre and knows very little about theatre, when I first watched this, it's completely changed me in that sense, and I really understand it. And the writer Chris is incredible, and the two actors, they're unbelievable.
What an amazing piece of theatre and writing, The Pint and Glass is. I really love it. I think it puts across a strong message, but also it blends in some comedy, and the contrast of a really important message, but the humour is brilliant, especially if it's getting taken to pubs and clubs and different workplaces. I think it's a really vital piece of work that we've got going nowadays, and great work to Chris O'Connor and Red Ladder Theatre for putting it out there.
It's such a powerful piece, and it's very, it is something that people need to talk about, and it's, we do need to talk about that kind of thing, and it really is a great, very moving as well. Yeah, each time I've had tears in my eyes at the end, it is that moving.
Amazing, very powerful. Very powerful. I think he's captured the utter despair that you feel as a family member as well, and just so useless and guilty and responsible. You blame yourself for things, and it's just despair, I think, is the best way to describe it. Very powerful.
It brings people's thoughts and brings something to life. People might start seeing into that, and that's what I'm seeing with this play, is not all of it, but little bits. I can see myself in Jim, or my relatives like Jim, or Sarah, and that's what this does, and communities can really see it, because they see it within their own communities or in their own self and families, and that's what this really draws out.